What is good, everybody? Welcome back to Real Fan Sports. My name is Zach. I'm here with my boy Nonpfixion. We are your fanalists. What's good, Non?
Man, I'm chilling, brother. How about yourself? How you doing?
Oh, I got to watch a little bit of the Pro Bowl, and so I'm not doing great because it's flag football. But we're here getting ready for the main Sunday, the Sunday that matters most, Super Bowl
Mhm.
Sunday, this February 11th at 5:30 p.m. during the middle of one of my favorite parades during the Mardi Gras season. So I'm gonna have to miss it so I can watch the game. But we got a good matchup coming up, man.
Definitely got an interesting one. Definitely got an interesting one. And as far as the Pro Bowl, yeah, I totally forgot till somebody texted me about it. Somebody throwing a crazy pass by CJ Stroud. So I was like, oh yeah, that is today, huh?
Well, I'll tell you, there were some things that I did like that they did make it a little bit better compared to last year, but they're still
Mhm.
nowhere there yet, dude. They need to get
Yeah.
somebody to come in and rework this whole thing and make it good. But let's talk about this game at hand, man. 49ers versus Chiefs, and I'll tell you what, this is a
Mhm.
special matchup or a special rematch. This
Yeah.
same Super Bowl scenario took back in the 2019-2020 season where the Kansas City Chiefs won their first Super Bowl in over 50 years. But not only
Yeah.
that, it is Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and Patrick Mahomes' first Super Bowl win.
Yeah, but an interesting trio right now. Now it's shrunk down to a duo who are still performing at a very, very high level. And I mean, it'll be interesting. I'm still interested to see what's going to actually happen because both of these teams have shown greatness in the season, and both have
Mhm.
shown some very poor play in the season. Now, I know the playoffs and the Super Bowl is much different than the regular season, but will any of those nightmares from the season show up during this game?
Man, I'll tell you, I've been wondering the same thing throughout the whole playoffs, and the Chiefs have just single handedly proven everybody wrong. All the
Oh
things that
yeah,
they had
yeah,
issues with have been corrected just out of nowhere. It's like poof in the wind. Now,
yes.
whenever they matched up previously in 2020, the Chiefs didn't have an easy win by any means. Going into
Mhm.
halftime, they were tied up at 10 all. Third quarter, the Niners went ahead and put up another 10, taking the lead going into the fourth, but the Kansas City Chiefs rallied back and were able to put up 21 big ones to take a 31-20 lead over the 49ers. Now, this year's a lot different. We got a different quarterback back there. It's no longer Jimmy G. Raheem
Yeah.
Mostert's no longer there. The only people that's really the same is Kittle, Use, and Debo Samuels,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
some
but
keys on
that's
the
that's
defense as well. But
yeah, that's a good unit to have together. You know what I'm saying? In that you add a couple of more pieces that are very talented. It'll be like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens. And then also, Kyle Shanahan, he's had his struggles when it comes to Super Bowl. We'll say
mm-hmm,
that he's had his struggles.
for sure.
Um, we won't talk about the Atlanta game. We won't talk about that. But he's had his
We can talk
struggles.
about
He's had his struggles. I know you
we can
won't talk
talk about
about
it.
it. Um, it'll and I think the tie-in between McCaffrey and Shanahan, where McCaffrey's dad, Ed McCaffrey,
Mhm.
played for Shanahan's father and won several Super Bowls with him. I'm like, can this be what they've been looking for? What the Niners needed to get over the hump? Is it McCaffrey? Because we know, even though the defense of the defense of the Chiefs is very good up front, but
Mhm.
they do give up about 114, 100 to 120 yards per game. Like that's their average
On the
giving
ground,
up
yeah.
on
Mhm.
the ground. So will this be the game where McCaffrey shows out for real?
That's the question, man. Christian McCaffrey's put on an absolute show all year, as well as Brock
Mhm.
Purdy. Um, And I feel like this is the time that McCaffrey really needs to just ball the heck out. I mean, you're
Yeah.
going up against this Chiefs team who, like you said, struggles against a run. Still not quite sure the game plan with the Ravens whenever they faced them last week and
Yeah,
why they
that was
didn't
weird.
really push the pedal in the run game. The Niners, I don't think are going to make that same mistake. They're going to go ahead and use their dual threats of running back with McCaffrey and then Debo with the trickery, and that's going to be
Mhm.
the hardest task for the Chiefs to conquer in order to win this game.
Yeah, I think for the Niners as well, even though Debo is their main attraction, I think we're gonna see an Ayuk explosion.
Mhm.
That's what I'm expecting. The person Ayuk, for those who don't know, has been doubted his entire career. They had him on defense when he first got into from high school to college. They didn't think he was good enough to play offense. He
Mhm.
he I mean, in high school, nobody thought he was going to play offense in high school. He didn't get a single like a scholarship for offense. They all want him on defense. The only school was
That's actually
Arizona.
crazy. I didn't know that.
Arizona was like, we'll give you a scholarship to be a receiver. And even then, he still had to wait 2 years to even get on the field.
Wow.
And now he's a all pro. So it's like the man been waiting to show out, and I think this might be his moment. This might be his moment. Everybody's expecting Debo to be the man, but Ayuk's been on my team the entire fantasy league. I love what he does. I love how good he is, how explosive the kid is. I think he's gonna have a great game. I think he's gonna be the star for them.
For sure. I mean, that's the big difference between this, right? I mean, the Niners have so many different weapons, so many different options to go through. It creates almost a coaching challenge for Shanahan, because what game plan are you going to go out with? Because you have so many different pieces, right? You can run the ball with McCaffrey. You can do the trick plays with Debo. You can target Ayuk primarily. You can go ahead and get Kittle involved early. You know, there's so many different options and levels to where they can go. Whereas the Chiefs, we know what the Chiefs are going to do, especially at this day and age of the Chiefs. This isn't the Chiefs of 2 years ago where there was multiple different options. The options are Pacheco, Kelsey, Rashee Rice. And then you just hope that when MVS gets the ball passed to him, he goes ahead and comes down with it, as well as any of the other receivers that are kind of mixed up in that bunch that may get a couple of targets. You just hope they come down with it.
Very true. Yeah, you definitely do, because I mean, just if you go back to the last game with the Chiefs, when they threw that pass up at the end, everybody was like, "Is he going to catch it?" And he turns around and actually makes an amazing catch. Falling backwards, which everybody was like, "Wow, he actually caught the ball." It is. Of course, that's been the topic of discussion around that team for the entire season. And it seems like some of the players are finally starting to not only get their hands on the ball, but to hold on to it through the ground, through the hit, and making plays at the end too. So, like I said, I'm curious to see how this is going to turn out, because you have two teams who have, like I said, have had the ups and downs, but are kind of starting to ball in the right way and moving in the right direction for both organizations.
Mm-hmm.
Will the defenses of both teams show up? We know that Chiefs defense ended the season being, I think we're number 2, still technically after the Browns. Technically after the Browns is number 2, and they do have a great up. Their four up front, great, outstanding. Johnson,
I mean, and all the youth in the back in the secondary, man, they've really showed out and balled. Like, I mean, they only have maybe 2 years on average of experience between all of them. Probably, I mean, that's underestimating, but you know what I'm saying? They're really young, and they've showed up in big moments.
Very true, and that's where it'll be interesting to see what's going to come in the Super Bowl, because, like you said, they're young. They've shown up so far in the playoffs, but the Super Bowl lights are just a little bit brighter than the playoff lights. And as far as the Niners, that defense that was prolific last season, that's kind of started this season off kind of prolific, and then kind of slowly kind of got a little bit less and less prolific, and it's had its issues. Even in the postseason, had its issues. Will the defense of the Chiefs outplay the defense of the Niners? And I'm kind of leaning towards the fact that they just might, because the defense of the Chiefs understand what's happening right now.
Yeah,
and they're not. They're doing their best trying not to make any mistakes.
I agree with that.
The mistakes for the Chiefs is mostly coming on the offensive side of the ball. The defense has actually stepped up.
It's crazy to say that. Yeah. No, I mean, I 100% agree with you, man. I mean, that is the tell of the stories. I mean, 49ers in the playoffs so far have had slow starts. They had to reel in with some, really great play in the later minutes of the game by Brock Purdy or whoever the skill man was receiving the ball, be able to go down and get some quick scores. This isn't the Niners team that was so dominant in the beginning of the season. I don't know if it's that people have figured them out, or if maybe they're just having a little bit of a slump. I feel like that's a bad word. I don't want to say slump, but you get what I'm trying to put out there.
I do believe having Hufanga go down early was a key miss, because I feel like
defense, for sure.
Yeah, as soon as he went down, the defense looked like it had a little chink in the armor, where it's like, okay, he was the glue that kept that defense together. Because when you watch him, I compare him with Troy Polamalu, because Troy Polamalu was everywhere. Yeah. Everywhere. Wherever the ball was, he was. And how many times we've seen Hufanga get an interception when he started out on that side of the field, but he got the interception on this side of the field?
Facts.
Because he is the glue of that defense. And I think him going down was a big loss for them. and
Mm-hmm.
it's shown since he left the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it has
Mm-hmm.
shown greatly. But I mean, they still have a good defense, and like I said, the Chiefs have a good defense. I think, normally in the last 5 years, the offenses have been the powerhouses that carry the Super Bowl. I think this time will be back to what the old school used to be, where the defense will be this the driving force for both teams. Because these offenses, well, the quarterbacks and their key players can show out and show out big time. But the defenses, will they get the key stops? That's the question. That's always going to be the question, especially with these two teams specifically. Will they get the key stops? Because Pacheco's going to do his thing. He's going to average 4 point
Yeah,
something yards per game. We know it's going to happen. You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
We know Chris McCaffrey is going to do his best to get 8 yards per carry.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what he does. They two great running
8 yards
backs,
is crazy.
two great running backs, two great tight ends, great receivers. I say on one side, some good receivers on the other side that are young and
Mm-hmm.
still learning. But it's very mirrored style teams.
Yeah, I mean, going into the playoffs, obviously, our predictions were off on this, right? But we knew Niners
Oh
were
yeah,
up in that competitive pool in the NFC. I really thought it was going to be between them and Dallas and Detroit as the sneakers, right?
man. Yeah,
Whenever I was looking at the AFC, it's like I really thought there was no way Baltimore would lose. And
yeah,
I'm coming into this game after watching all these playoff matchups, and all this is showing me is that these are the best two teams in the Super Bowl right now.
yeah,
They are.
yeah. Very
Chiefs
true.
came out and handled business against the Baltimore Ravens. They made them look pubescent, man. Like they weren't even
They
there.
looked regular. They
They
looked
looked
regular.
very regular.
They looked average.
And
That's
it's
the word. They looked very average, and that's for how dynamic they looked throughout the season. That's crazy. That's very
mhm,
crazy.
I agree.
But it's
So
going to be a high flying game though.
so key points for the Niners to win, key points for the Chiefs to win.
For the Chiefs, it all comes down to that defense. Can that defense slow down McCaffrey and keep Brock corralled?
Mhm,
Because if Brock can play not free because he's not a runner, but he will run. But if he can
mhm.
play where he doesn't feel the pressure, I think
It's
that's
gonna
going
be
to be a problem.
dangerous.
That's going to be
Yeah,
a problem.
totally agree. So
But it is,
quarterback pressure and
yeah,
and run game containment. So a contained defense is really what they want to do here.
they have to. They have to.
Pressure on the quarterback, contain the run. Okay. What about the Chiefs?
Now with the Chiefs, it's the
Or I'm sorry,
communication
what about
between.
the Niners? I'm sorry, the Niners key
Oh
to
yeah,
win.
yeah, yeah. So with the Niners, they can't start out slow. Starting out slow is going to be the wrong thing for them because, like you said in the beginning, they start out each playoff game very slow.
Very slow. Can't do that against the
Either
Chiefs.
either putting up 3 points in the first quarter and a half, or not putting up any points and just keeping the other team under, scoring only 3 points. Chiefs doesn't matter because the Chiefs, they're going to be a second half team regardless.
Mhm.
If you get the ball in the first 2 quarters, you got to put up points. I
Yeah.
mean,
You
not
need to
three. You
try
got
for
to put up
6. You got to
20.
get,
You
yeah, right.
you need to put up some numbers because you got to make them. If they're going to be, there's like I said, they're a come from behind team. That's what Patrick Mahomes does best. He's he's a good one. He's a great at doing that. I won't even take that from him. But if you want to beat them, you got to put up all the points as early and as frequently as possible. And
Mhm.
takeaways. Get
Strike first and
Mahomes.
get takeaways. Yeah.
Get Mahomes to make a mistake. If he makes a mistake, he doesn't get rattled, but he's not comfortable.
Mhm.
And-
You got to get them to start blaming one another. That's the thing with the
yeah.
Chiefs. We saw that. That's when a lot of the folding happened during the middle of the season was a lot
Mhm.
of complaints and miscommunication. They can start that from happening, then they'll be looking good going into it. But it's gonna be a tough battle to do. If I'm looking at the Chiefs, I'm kind of right there with you as far as what their goals are. If I want to look on the offensive side of the ball, I think it's the same exact thing as I said last week. Get Travis involved early. Have to. The
Yeah.
game is different when they get Travis involved early. All of a sudden, it opens everything up. It makes other
hmm
wide receivers feel comfortable when they don't feel like they got to make these big plays, but they get put in those situations they can make them, right? Not all the
Yeah. Oh
pressure's
yeah.
on them,
Yeah.
especially with these younger group of guys. And then for the Niners, I mean, offensively, man, I'm looking at the run game. I said
Yeah.
it for the Baltimore Ravens. I'm saying it for the Niners. Got to get McCaffrey running. Got to get him going early. Him and Debo
hmm
work some jet sweeps. I don't care what it is. Get the ball going on the ground. Take time off the clock and make it feel like this game isn't attainable because they're just driving for 8 minutes every
Yeah,
series. That's
yeah.
what I'd
And
like to see out of the Niners.
don't do a bunch of screenplays. The Chiefs, they sniff
Please
those
don't.
out too
Yeah.
well. And I don't know what it is about the Chiefs defense, but they sniff out screenplays like crazy. And as far as the Niners defense, just double team Travis Kelsey. Make them have to utilize
Stop
the
leaving
other
that dude
receivers.
open in the gaps in your zones, man.
I don't get
Jesus.
it, man. People been
Me
doing that
neither.
for 11 years. 11 years they've been doing that for that man's career. I don't
Crazy,
get it.
man.
I don't get it.
And for your prediction, man, who you got winning?
Now, I mean, I want the Niners to win, but I still believe the Chiefs going to pull out and win it. And then lastly,
Yeah.
it's hard to go against them because every time they come in this situation, besides I think one time, like it's really been their game. You know what I'm saying? So
It has
I
been.
would like the Niners to win, but I feel like the Chiefs are going to pull it out at the end.
I mean, this is going to be a tough one, man. We're going to be out in Las Vegas at Allegiant
Mhm.
Stadium. The ticket prices are high. The low is 5,300. Oh my God. The totals are 47.5. The spread is only 1.5 favorite for the Niners. This is the matchup that everybody wants for the Super Bowl, and I hope it pans out that way. And dude, I'm right there with you. I mean, I keep going against them. I
Yeah,
keep going against them,
Yeah,
and it's just
and
not
they prove
working.
us wrong every time.
It's and again, it's
The only time
it's
we've been
very
right is during the
similar.
season. The
Yeah,
only time we've been right is
it's
during the season with them.
it's very similar with the whole Ravens game. It's like
Yeah.
I really want the Niners to win and feel like they should win, but like the Chiefs, man, they know how to go in there and get it done. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go Niners to be different from you, but this is anybody's
Okay.
game. I'm not betting on the spread, not at all.
Oh yeah, no. Your best bet is to do like some parlays, some crazy parlays.
Yeah, that's what's gonna
$5
be
to
happening.
win
Yeah,
300.
yeah. Look, what color y'all think the Gatorade is gonna be? Blue? I'm going with blue.
I'm gonna say orange. I'm gonna say orange.
Well, I like orange. I like orange. But anyway, guys, I really appreciate you all for coming tuned in to our final prediction for the 2023-2024 NFL season. What a ride it's been. We've had some excellent growth on the
Crazy.
channel.
Yeah.
All the views of our prediction have gone up and up each week, so new people are clicking in. We truly appreciate that. Make sure you come join us live on Super Bowl Sunday. We will be here. We're gonna have some fun. Maybe we'll bring out something fun and extra to do. There's no telling, man. Y'all have a great time. Thank y'all for checking out. Hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers.
Peace out, y'all.